Hello, everybody. My name is Dr.TAN. I'm the founder and CEO of AIDA Technologies. We are an AI company that specializes in providing solutions to insurance companies. It's my pleasure to be able to give you this talk about step-by-step process in claims management. Welcome, everybody. So today, I'm very pleased to be invited to give this talk. I will walk you through how we do claims processing in an end-to-end manner. I start first with a quick overview about AIDA Technologies. We are a company about 40 people, but we're very technology heavy. There are about 10 PhDs in the company. You will notice AIDA was founded in 2016, and in that year we become a winner at the Singapore FinTech Festival. So every year we've been winning some awards in the area of insurance. And the most recent one was at the Hong Kong FinTech Week in 2021, where we're the InsurTech vertical champion. What AIDA does is to use AI to do three things. Number one, we help insurance company automate their process, such as claims processing and underwriting. Number two, we help insurance company reduce fraud, waste and abuse, reduce leakage to increase profitability. Number three, we help insurance companies increase revenue through better targeting, and you do upsell and cross-sell. So this is an overview of the portfolio of products that AIDA has developed after 6 years in the business. So we have solutions for claims, solutions for fraud detection, underwriting, agent management, and so on. But I want to focus today in today's presentation in the area of claims management. Right? We have a long track record in building claims management solution. So this is a picture, a quotation of a round table we did at the Singapore FinTech Festival in 2017. The insurer gave us some data. We are able to use the data and provide a solution that can automate claims from days to seconds. And more recently, in 2021, working with AIA Singapore, we helped AIA Singapore win the Digital Award for life insurance. And today, in fact, 100% of the claims, the health claims, that are processed is using AIDA's AI solution. So what is it that we offer to our customers who deploy our solution? I'll talk about two examples. In Singapore, we have this thing called Shield Claims. Shield Claims is the mandatory health insurance claims for everybody across in Singapore. If you are a resident in Singapore, you will have a Shield plan. So we work with one of the biggest Shield insurer in Singapore. The problem statement they gave us was that at that time, they do not have any automation. The STP, straight through processing rate, was very low, only about 20 to 30%. In fact, having worked with many insurers, it's quite common for the automation rate to be very slow. In fact, many of the times, it's actually manual processing. They also cannot do pre-authorization, where you try and do some authorization before the cost is incurred. Right? The goal given to AIDA was to increase the end-to-end automation to 50% and to implement pre-auth. The actual deliverable, which is now running in the insurer for more than a year now, is that the end-to-end automation rate has gone up to more than 70%. We are able to implement pre-authorization for them, and that's also automated process that's running with greater than 80% automation rate. Of course, your assessors' efficiency have improved tremendously, and I'll show you examples afterwards. And there's a reduction in operating costs. Very important, your policyholders can get their claims processed very fast. And in fact, for this particular insurer, 60% of their policy members receive their claims payment within a day. Of course, very good customer satisfaction improvement. Now, the second example is quite similar. However, it is with what's called claims submitted with paper images, scan images, or with people taking pictures and upload the pictures of their invoices. So there's an additional process where you have to extract information from the scan images, and then from there convert the unstructured information to structured information so that you can do the automation. Okay, of course, for this particular process, we also can increase the straight-through processing rate very significantly. More important, we discovered that actually there is something called non-payable items sitting in these line items. And a lot of times this information is lost because there's simply too much information for a person to process, and non-payable items slip through the system, and that increases the leakage. So with that background, now I want to introduce to you the end-to-end process of what AIDA's proposed system look like, right? Now, I think this will be quite similar to the process that you have. And in fact, one of the questions people ask is, do I need to change my claim system? The answer is no. AIDA's claims processing system is what's called loosely coupled using API, right? So what we do is you keep your system exactly the same, but we use the API to extract information, process, and it runs in parallel with the existing system that you have. The advantage of doing that is you can do A/B comparison, right? So you know for sure whether the system works and how well it works. In fact, the way we deploy our systems is we run A/B comparison with a system for maybe up to 3 months. In these 3 months, the manual process is still running. AIDA's AI system is also running. And then at the output, you can compare 100% of all claims processed. You have a very good idea of the throughput, the accuracy, and so on. It is a standard process that we have. Okay. Now I just give you a big picture, and then I will dive down step by step of what it looks like. On the top, you have what's called a data capture. So all insurers have the same thing. Claims document must come into the insurer, and the way it comes to the insurer is this. Either somebody is scanning the paper documents and upload the scanned images into a data store, or your customers are taking pictures of their invoices and upload the image through a portal and it goes to also the image store. Or you can also have a direct electronic transfer either from hospital or some central place into the insurer. Either solution can take data from all three sources and put it all together. What we do then is we extract using OCR, extract the information, and very important, you want to capture the key information from these documents. Information such as the header information, which is who is the policy holder, how many days were they in hospital, what were the disease being treated, which hospital, which clinic, which doctor, how long, what medication, and so on. All those are called the information about the claim. Now, to do a claims processing, that information is not enough. You have to take the information and then you have to look at the policy information related to this policy holder, right? The policy information says, is this what type of policy? Bronze, silver, gold, platinum? What's the coverage level? What were the policy inception date? Very important. Are there any exclusion? And what are the exclusion? We make use of this kind of information. With the invoice, we then do claims processing. We take this information, we put it into two engines. The first engine is the AIDA claims decision engine. The second engine is the fraud engine, right? These two engines run in parallel and they run very fast. Generally, end to end, we take 1 minute, less than 1 minute to process a claim. Whether it is an inpatient claim, outpatient claim, accident claim, it does not matter. We process all of them in 1 minute. We can do the processing, we can run the fraud in 1 minute, and the fraud side is very important because fraud detection is very hard and usually depends on deep expertise from the assessor, right? Because they're accumulating knowledge about what is normal, what's abnormal, and what are fraud mechanisms. But what AIDA's AI engine is able to do is it has knowledge base of this fraud, and then it runs in parallel, and in that 1 minute, it can flag whether a claim has got anything unusual. We call them outliers. If the claim is an outlier, we'll flag it and say, assessor, please have a look, and then look in detail. So that way, you stop a suspicious claim from being paid before it's paid, right? Because once you pay, it's very hard to take the money back. Okay. So of course, you'll see as we build the system, we also build processes to enable assessors to use it very easily and automate their process. We view this as something that assists the assessor so that the assessor can do his job very well. It's not meant to replace any claims assessor. It's meant to help the assessor do a better job. Okay, with this very big picture, now I go into step by step of how it works. Okay. Now we start off. Remember that we start with the data capture, right? I will show you what our data capture system look like. So imagine at the beginning of the day. Okay, when you start off with the remember an assessor comes into work. When he comes into work, the first thing they see is a dashboard, right? So this is called the assessor, the dashboard that shows the OCR system processing all the documents that's come in, right? So all the documents that already gone through are put into a line, and then it tell you how many came in, how many is completed, and so on, right? And then you can investigate and look at any one of these documents in detail. So you click one of the documents, you will see the detail for verification, right? The origin document is shown as an image, and then on the top right-hand corner, the details of that document, and then the header items are captured here, and then the line items are captured here. That way, by comparison, you know whether the data is accurate, and if you need to do some editing, there's a mechanism for you to edit either the header information or the line item information. Very important for many insurers is that when you start to work on, say, inpatient, there is something called benefit categorization, right? Because a hospital bill may have 200 items, right? So many insurers, in fact, all the insurers we know of, will do what's called benefit categorization. Like, for example, all the different Panadol, paracetamol, all the medicine are put into a category called medicine. Everything related to a doctor visit is put in the doctor fees. Everything related to a room is put in the room and board category, right? There are generally about 5 to 10 categories. We have the ability to automatically categorize line items in a knowledge management page that categorize so that you can see the detail or you can see it in categorized form. So this is our knowledge management page for benefit categorization. Now you're seeing the OCR. I want to show you the system end to end, right? So imagine you are a claims assessor and you come to work in the morning. When you come to work in the morning, in theory, ideally the AI system already run and everything is ready for you. And this is what you see. This is what's called the assessor dashboard. Assessor comes in, he sees. I explain what it is. On the left hand side, on the top left hand side, are all details about a claim. On the right hand side are all the output from the AI engine, right? So what you have here is the registration date for all the policies that are already being processed by the AI engine. What's the claims number? What's a policy number? What's a claims type? Is it an inpatient, outpatient, group, retail? And then what's a claims admission? What's a claims type? Inpatient, outpatient. Then you have a variety of other the hospital, right? Very important. Whether it's a private hospital, government hospital, or clinic, and then the bill amount, right? And then so all this up to here are all information about the claim, right? No judgment yet. Now on up to this point on the right hand side, you have something called outlier detection, right? Whether we detect that, whether anything unusual about this claim. If there's anything unusual, we detect and let you know. That means you cannot STP it. You have to look at it because maybe there's a fraud in there. Then we not just tell you whether there's anything unusual. We also give you a score. The score is very important because the score gives you give you a confidence to what degree the outlier looks like. So when the score is close to 1, it means very, 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 very funny, very, very unusual. A score is 0.01, maybe just a little bit, right? So you give you a score, and then we also detect whether there are any policy exclusion. In fact, one of the big way leakage happen is that there are exclusion in your underwriting, but the claims come in, you cannot detect the exclusions, then you have leakage, right? And then a STP flag. STP flag means can automate or cannot automate. And then what the AI recommendation is, should we approve it? The AI recommend assessor to review or reject and so on. So this is what the assessor sees, and then what the assessor can review each of the claim and deep dive into any one of them. So now let's say they pick a claim to deep dive, and the next level, if you deep dive, this is what you see. So now you've gone into one claim. What AIDA has done is make it together so that you can see all the information in one place and make it very easy for the assessor to do, right? So on this area, what it gives is all the highlight details about this claim, right? When it came in, inpatient, outpatient, this is all the claim summary. Then these are on the right hand side is all the decision. This is a case whereby it's recommend approved. That means AI did not detect anything wrong. So the AI decision recommended to be approved. There were no reasons, no non-STP reason. I mean nothing unusual. And then there are no outlier detect. So this is a very clean case. I start with clean, then I give you an example where there are problems. Okay, so not just do we give the high level that says, okay, everything's fine, we go step by step and tell you why it's fine and show you the kind of things we check. We check multiple stages. The first stage is we check for policy eligibility, which is fundamental. Is this claim eligible or not? Things like policy inception date, the kind of policies, right? And so on. So there's a check on policy eligibility. And actually, there are multiple checks here. Next, we check is claims history. Claims history is quite important because we want to see whether this person is making a lot of claims, similar claims before, and so on, because it gives an idea whether there's anything funny. And next, if we look at medical necessity, right? Medical necessity means, oh, look at the treatment and is it necessary for this treatment. So this is to prevent what's called over servicing or overcharging and cost leakage. We also check for overcharging and over servicing, right? So each of these have got multiple categories of things that we check, and then we summarize everything in here. So the assessor looks at it and say, all okay. And of course, the assessor can deep dive, right? And then we also do additional checks, blacklist, whitelist check, whether the doctor is on a blacklist, hospital on a blacklist, clinic on a black. If they appear, then we flag it out. Then people can do detailed analysis. So I want to summarize is saying every single claim, all this information is made available to the assessor. So this is a clean one. I'm going to give you an example where there are some problems. Okay, so this is another claim, and this is a claim where it is, if you look at the AI decision, it's a decline, right? Of course, you cannot say decline and accept it. You want to try and understand the reason. Then they tell you why. It says there is a policy eligibility issue and a claim history issue, right? So it tell you, highlight what's the reason, and then of course you go deep down, it will show you what it is. So in this particular case, we pull out policy eligibility, we pull out claims history, and so on. I believe in this particular case, well, I cannot read this, a bit too small, but the assessor can go in and see the reasons on why this particular case is rejected. Here's another case whereby, so I give you one where everything is clean, all approved. Another one is we say it's decline. A third category is we say, hey, we need an assessor, we need a human expert to come and review this. So it says require assessor to review the case. So you look at the AI decision here, it recommend AI assessor review. We saw things with claims history, we saw things with medical necessity, right? So if you look at the details we throw up, is it being claimed, what's the TSOP, what's the ICD code, and then we look at the exclusion, we explain why. It makes it much easier for the assessor to review this case. Okay, so I think I'll show you this is the system provides all this information and put it in the dashboard and make it easy for the assessor to do all the relevant information of case already put together in one place for the assessor. Okay, so I've completed the assessor review case, but what the system do is also provide information for the claims management. So you could have a head of the claims department. The head of the claims department is interested in other things. He's not interested in doing the actual claim, but he's interested in how is the overall claims process. For example, when you look here called the top decline codes. So you've been running the system, you process 10,000 claims. What it does is say, of your 10,000 claims, what's the most decline codes? Which one, what are the things that decline the most, the second and third? So by looking at this decline, maximum decline, have an idea of what's going on in your system. We also look at things that stop your automation, right? So by looking at the top STP codes, each one of them, oh, this is the one that's stopping and then you can take corrective action. So we think these are very powerful information to help the claims management on optimize their system. Of course, every information, all the claims that have been rejected and so on, again, are available for the management to do a deep dive. All right. We also provide something which you think is quite unique, right? We all know when you run a claim system, if you are insurer, you run a claim system, there are many factors that affect the performance of a claim system, right? What we do is we give you an a tool to help you identify the best operating point for your particular environment, for your particular company. We call that the claims straight through processing calculator. We already run simulations, and from there you know the trade-off between threshold, confidence level, and the leakage. And of course, this is something quite complex, but AIDA will work with you to help you automate your system. Right. So what are things we can see? Right. If you have a digital claim, that means the data is coming in digitally, we can get 70-80% automation rate. If it comes in through OCR and so on, the automation rate is lower because there will be some fallout because of poor quality images, poor quality documents, and so on. What can we handle? We handle GP claims. So this is a general practitioner, specialists, hospitalization, pre-hospitalization, post-hospitalization, accident, e-letter of guarantee, pre-op. In fact, this is the whole, I think all insurers need to handle all this. The system can take care of all these different kind of claims. So what I've done so far is giving an overview of the claim. I just want to very quickly highlight fraud, because fraud can improve your efficiency and improve your money saving in your insurance company. We have a very extensive FWA system that not just look at the claims level fraud, we also look at the policy holder. Because sometimes one claim looks okay, but you look at the policy holder, he's making a lot of claims, then you know there's something wrong with the policy holder. So we can detect frequency of claims. We can detect potential non-disclosure. If let's say a claim is for glaucoma, which is slow moving disease, but he policy inception date within 2 months he's claimed glaucoma, maybe there's a non-disclosure by this particular policyholder. We can look at provider, we can look at doctor level. So we do a very deep analysis of a different kind of fraud. Okay, I'll give you one example from not in Thailand, but from Indonesia. So we detect that this particular woman, 66-year-old, in 1 year make 247 claims, right? So every month there's 13 claims. In the month of October, there are 41 claims, right? And they came to see the doctor for different kind of diseases. So what's happened is somebody is using this person's card, ID, and go and make a lot of claims. Maybe a whole village is doing it. So insurer get one policy payment, but a lot of people are using that particular policy. Of course, big loss to the company, to the insurer. If you use our FWA engine, we can provide you what's called a macro view of what's going on. So in this particular case, I think I have some data from Thailand. So you can say, let me have a look at your books for the period year to date. So we see that we have processed 2.0 million claims, and these 2.0 million claims, value is 21.7 billion baht, right? Then you see the outlier of the 2.7 million claims, maybe about 5% are outlier, but in terms of value, 30% are outlier. Then next question, where is this outlier coming from? We can see by the top diagnosis, top ICD codes. If you know which ICD codes are causing a problem, maybe you tighten your underwriting rules so that you don't have that leakage. You can also see by provider, which hospitals are generating these outliers. Then you can tighten your network management and reduce, make sure the hospital don't overcharge. We give you the reasons, and then all the outlier claims are ranked here by severity, by type, by hospital, and then the reasons for why they come up, right? And you can deep dive into any one of these claims, and I will show you what the deep dive looks like. If you deep dive, then you have this now looking at one claim. Just now I was looking at your total book. So in one claim, this is the high level detail about that particular claim. What's the ICD code, whether inpatient, outpatient, whether the surgery, and then how much the bill costs. We've seen how many similar claims, and then what's the outlier score. If you look at the details, it will tell you why. So in this particular case, you find that is the medication is very high. The medication is very high compared to the 90th percentile, right? And that's what's driving up the cost. And now you can take it up with the hospital about why they are charging so much. Now, with that, I come to the end of my step-by-step walkthrough of a claims management system, including OCR, the entire claims processing flow, the fraud detection. So I thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoy it very much. If you have any question, please reach out to me. My email address is given in this presentation tag. Thank you, everyone.